Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to make this delicious creamed spinach and leek casserole. So you're going to use some fresh leeks, and it depends on how many you're serving. I'm just going to use one, and I'm just going to use the white part. I'll show you how to wash these and clean these really well because they lodge dirt inside of them, so you're going to have to soak them first. And it's going to have spinach and leeks, and it's going to have a lot of really yummy ingredients. So I think you're really going to enjoy this recipe. These are all the ingredients that you're going to use to make this spinach leek bake. It's not really a casserole, you could call it that. It's a bake. You're going to have either cognac or brandy or some kind of whiskey. And I have brandy, so that's what I'm using. The recipe is going to be under the description, and it calls for like 4 leeks, but I'm only using one. So the actual recipe for a decent size casserole or bake will be in the description, and then you can kind of choose how you want to do it. So there's going to be leeks, spinach. I use fresh spinach. You can use frozen if you want. There's going to be heavy cream, a shallot, garlic, fresh thyme. I'm using ground thyme that's been dried, and milk. All these are the ingredients that are going to go into this. So I'm going to show you how I do this. We're going to start off by chopping our green leaves off. This isn't going to go in our bake. And then what you're going to do is cut the end off. And then you're going to slice this down the middle. And here you'll see all these like little paper. They look like little papers. And usually there's dirt in between them. Here's an example right here. I don't know if you can see that in the lighting, but that's what we want to remove. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a pan, fill it with water, and soak these leeks in it just to remove all the debris or dirt. And like I said earlier, this recipe calls for 4 leeks, but since it's just myself, I'm not going to make that much. But you would probably want to if you're having, a meal with more than yourself. You would want to make the full recipe that will be under the description. So what we do is you can just, some of them are really clean and some aren't, but we don't know which ones are when we buy them, and it doesn't matter because I soak and wash all of them. So we're just going to use this light part of the leek because this is the most tender. So we're going to soak these in here and just kind of clean. Okay, once your leeks have been cleaned, you're going to fold them like this, and you're going to chop them in kind of like anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch thick. You're just going to do like this, and actually if there's anything to peel off, I should have done that already, but I didn't. You're just going to chop them up like this. You have your second group. You're just going to do the same thing. Chop them anywhere from 1/4 of an inch. You're going to melt your butter down, and since I've cut this recipe down to show you, I did probably 1/4 cup of butter, and normally it'll be a stick of butter with 4 leeks. I'm using 1 leek that I've chopped, so I'm going to put that in the butter. There won't be olive oil in this, it's just going to be butter. And once your butter is melted, you can turn it up to like a medium high because you want to sauté these till they're soft and translucent like you would onions. So that's what we're doing right now. And then once they're softened, we're going to add our spinach because spinach cooks down much faster. Here we are on medium high. Our leeks are softened now, so we're going to add a little salt. And I would say probably about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And after we do that, we're going to add our spinach. And I have about 4 cups of spinach, and it's going to cook down real fast. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to cook this down first. After both the spinach and the leeks are like this, nice and soft, you're going to add your thyme. You're going to sprinkle a little thyme in. And then after you mix this up a little bit, you'll put in your alcohol, and what that does, after you add it, you're going to keep cooking it. It'll cook it down. It'll cook the alcohol kind of out of it. So I'm going to add my pepper now. And now I'm going to add probably about a 1/4 cup of brandy. And that will definitely cook down. So we're going to stir that for a few minutes. So normally you're going to have about 4 cloves of garlic. I'm just adding like a teaspoon of wet garlic that's in a jar at this point. And I'm still stirring it and letting the alcohol cook out of it. I'm not ready to put my heavy cream and milk in yet, so I'm putting this up to like a medium so it can really cook it out. But it has a wonderful aroma. It really does. So after you've cooked it on like a medium high to get all the alcohol content out, you're now going to put like, for this, I'm going to put like 1.5 tablespoons or 2 tablespoons of flour, and you just cover it all up. This is going to thicken everything. And you're also going to put just a dash of nutmeg in, not much. Like I've said in previous videos, you do not want to overdo nutmeg. It's meant to just be like a very mild background flavor. And now I'm putting my heavy cream and milk, and I'm doing like half of each. It's all mixed together in here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to stir it until it thickens. It's going to thicken up really nicely. So you want to turn it up just maybe to medium, and you're going to keep stirring this probably about 2 or 3 minutes till it thickens just how you want. This is how you want it, just like this. See how nice and thick that is? It's ready. It's ready to go in your casserole dish and into a 350-degree oven, and it's going to bake about 25 minutes. So that's what we're going to do next. If I was cooking this for anyone else besides myself, I would be making the full amount, but I'm not. So that's why I've put this in a smaller amount. So now what you do is you're going to put everything in a casserole dish. And I have a little casserole dish because that's what's going to accommodate what the amount I have. So it's not, you know, like a huge amount. Like you'll need a much bigger pan or dish to put yours in. See, you can, this isn't a big casserole dish and it's not even full. I am going to put foil on top of this because I don't have a lid for this. So we're going to put this in a 350-degree oven for about 25 minutes. So we're going to go put this in the oven. There it goes. It's going to probably take less time than the recipe that has more ingredients. So I'm going to go with 15 minutes with this and then maybe 20. Here's our very last step. Now this could have been done before or in between the steps I showed you, but I'm showing you this in increments, and you can do this first. What you're going to do for the main full recipe, it's going to be about 4 shallots, but I'm only using 1. So what you're doing is you're just going to slice them in like little circles like this. And I could actually cut it in half like this so I can let it go a little further. And like I said, for the regular recipe, you're going to have about 4 shallots. And if you want less, like if you want to do 3 shallots, you can. And these will be sliced about 1/4 of an inch. So what you want is like little round, or these aren't exactly round, but then what you're going to do with these is you're going to put them in flour, a little thing of flour, and you're going to mince them all together, and it's basically just coating them. And then after you, I'm going to just use this because I have it here. Should have gotten a spoon, but I didn't. So you're just going to coat these shallots, and it'll be a lot more shallots with the other recipe that's got the full amount. So anyway, what you're going to do is just coat these really well. And then you're going to fry them in oil till they're crispy. And these are going to go on top of your spinach leek bake. So this oil is a little hotter than I really want it to be. But you want it to be like a medium to a medium high. Actually, I guess it's okay. So you're just going to place all your shallots in the hot oil. And we're just going to crisp these up. It's going to be kind of like a garnish over this, and it's going to be really, really good. So we'll just golden these up. Here's our crispy shallots. You can
do them without the flour. I've done them both ways. I think I prefer them without the flour, where you just saute and cook them for a little longer time. This one I heat it up a little more because it has to be with the flour on it.
Okay, here it is. It's still hot. I think it's cool enough for me to try it. So let's give it a try. Amazing. It's really, really flavorful. These crispy shallots really make a difference. It's kind of a topper, so this is a really delicious kind of a bake or a casserole, but it's meant to be a side dish. So I think if you give this a try, you will really like it. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope it turns out for you.